From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
last week, Hi-Fi and MOKB Presents announced plans for a new indoor venue in the historic Murphy Arts Center. Hi-Fi partner Josh Baker took some time out to meet us at the Fountain Square location to talk about the construction and what it'll all mean to the community.
Looking for ways to save on your energy bills? AES Indiana has you covered. From smart thermostats to home energy assessments, we offer simple solutions to keep your home comfortable and your costs down. AES can help you save money and energy with kits, tips, rebates, and more. Visit aesindiana.com/ways to save to learn more about how we can help you save money. AES Indiana, helping you discover real ways to save.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
I'm Josh Baker. I'm one of the partners here at the Hi-Fi and MOKB Presents, and we're sitting inside of the Hi-Fi, which is one of our first venues that we've created. The path has been a long, rocky road. I spent a lot of time early on in media manufacturing at a facility on the east side doing CDs and cassettes and things of that nature. Learned a lot there about logistics and manufacturing and things, and then worked at an independent label on the west side called Surf Records for, goodness, probably 3 or 4 years. 2 of those years I was an unpaid intern, and then finally worked my way up to actually having a role in the retail world. And from then I just, I spent time doing some shows, managing artists, and we had our own record label for a while, and built an event called the Midwest Music Summit, which was a combo trade show and music festival in Broad Ripple. I did that for about 5 years, probably a little ahead of its time for Indianapolis, but that was kind of the first piece of the live concert industry that I got to be a part of, and really enjoyed it, and met a lot of the people that we still work with today. I met Dodge, one of our early partners in that, and that's kind of how we started doing shows originally together. So a very aggressive, experience-based regimen of trying to find out where I fit in, I guess, and just kind of landed on the live space. When we first started out, I think it kind of goes in cycles. It's really good for a while, then it's just kind of stagnant, and it's really good. We just got to find that, that secret sauce of how do we keep it going without those little dips. From a touring artist standpoint, original touring acts at the time, there was not a lot of those type of shows happening, a lot of cover bands and things like that at the time, and that was kind of what motivated us to originally go seek out these bands that we really liked, we enjoyed, that were playing other cities that might have been skipping Indianapolis at the time. And then that kind of became part of our mantra, I guess, was we're going to take it personally if these artists continue to skip, so we're going to do all the things we can do as a city and as our promoters of our little corner of the world to do the things that would attract them to want to come here. We tend to do things pretty slowly. I know it appears that we don't, but we like to train ourselves, make sure we're comfortable doing it. And so even when our first venues, we were promoters that didn't have a venue for 4.5, 5 years. Did a lot of work at Radio, and then it came a time where we're like, okay, the volume warrants a room or a venue, and we renovated an old art gallery upstairs from here, which was called the Lounge, and that's called Lo-Fi Lounge now. And it was 100 people, and we just booked as many acts as we could in there just to train ourselves, teach ourselves how to run a venue, a bar, production, accounting, logistics, all those things. And then we got the opportunity to come downstairs here to the original Hi-Fi, which we did that for 2 years. We're pretty much at capacity every night. Got the opportunity to tear that down and make this bigger to what it is now, which is really kind of what our original vision was, as a room this size. And then over that time, we've grown with these artists that have grown with us. They started off here, and now they're here. and now they need somewhere to go. And so we're either putting them in rooms owned by other folks or other groups to be able to continue to grow with them, or we're kind of seeking out options for ourselves. So we have relationships with venues across the state, from Nickel Plate Amphitheater in Fishers at 5,000 capacity, the new arena they just built, the Clyde Theater in Fort Wayne, Brown County Music Center. That's where we've been going. So now, having this opportunity during the pandemic to open up the Annex, which was our really only opportunity to do shows at the time, was go outside. And that just kind of took on a mindset of its own and became a legitimate venue. It was originally temporary. I think our temporariness kind of wore out, and the opportunity to find a more permanent home for it was kind of always on our radar. We just kind of kept doing it because they're letting us do it. So I think there was a time we don't want to really wear out our welcome in the building, in the neighborhood. So we would have never got another chance to move it to this location, which is literally 10 feet away in the same building, had we not done it. So that's the kind of what we just announced, was the original concept of taking the Annex from outside and then moving it to a permanent indoor facility that we're actually able to create and build. It's a lot different when you're throwing containers in a parking lot and throwing up a fence versus actually getting to craft and create this venue from scratch. So we're excited to do that. I mean, we've tried to always be good stewards of our neighborhood. I've been a part of a lot of different scenes over the years, and I'm most proud of this one just because we're all it's a close-knit community. Everybody's doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's what allowed the Annex to kind of be so successful. I mean, we've been in this space for 10 years, so we've been bringing artists here, 300 plus shows a year for almost 10 years now. And the Annex added another layer, so another 70 shows. I don't know if you're doing the math here, but you can start 70 shows, average attendance of 800. So that number of people that weren't coming to the neighborhood before now are. And then if you start to work backwards on that math of the tourism impact, at 30 to 35% of our guests are from out of town. So you have hotel nights, you have Airbnbs, you have people coming in the night before, eating at the local restaurants, shopping, taking part in what we're doing as a neighborhood. That's where the economic impact really starts to settle in. If you do the math, which I did do the math recently, it's we've done just over 500,000 guests to the neighborhood in the last 10 years. And that's a combination of all of our events. And that's not even accounting our new restaurant either. But so there's got to be a formula out there somewhere that quantifies what that means. I'm not super good at that, but I mean, if you can, basic math will tell you that that's a significant impact for a small neighborhood. There's always 5 or 6 crazy harebrained ideas that we've got in our back pocket. This was one from 2 years ago. So figuring out which one of those things work, the economy, the industry, a lot of things impact what we do. We used to be really focused on trying to do festivals and bigger events where we realized that doesn't really work. And so doing what we're good at, which is producing shows, doing them effectively, efficiently, a good guest experience, a good artist experience, just that simple model, and then doing that more. And so that's kind of how we've grown to this space that we're in right now. I think just being part of kind of this ground up build that we created from nothing, and I still walk in here every day and go, wow, hey, we have a venue. It's kind of it's kind of humbling. I think just stepping back and looking at it and realizing, we came from basically a couple guys with an idea that liked music to where we are now is pretty incredible.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunities Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.